So we're going to start this class in a seated position. So I'm actually sitting up on a blanket. You might want to, or you might have something else you're sitting on. Take a little bit of time to settle, so a little bit of moving, so that you're able to come to drop down through your hips. Maybe taking the pads of your thumbs and forefingers together, palms facing down, elbows underneath the shoulders. And closing your eyes if you'd like to. And taking a few moments to simply notice what's here this morning for you, physically, energetically, emotionally. Noticing the breath. And consciously dropping down through the base of your body to meet the earth. We're going to find the ground today in order to fly. Our buoyancy comes from the earth. So can you really feel that consciously dropping through your bones? And becoming aware of the space around you. A gentle lift of your upper body, your top body, and your spine up and out of the pelvis. And I've been teaching today all week, reminding people coming to the classes and myself of one of Patanjali's yamas. This is a set of principles or guidelines to live by in order to create a better world, I suppose, that Patanjali put together in chapter 2 of his sutras a long, long time ago. And the first yama is Ahimsa. And this is non-violence, directly translated. And there are lots of ways we could interpret non-violence, but right now, when we come to the yoga mat, and when we're invited into postures, into sequences and movements, it's so important to practice ahimsa and actually to hang back a little bit, not to strive, not to force. Although this might sound strange to some of you, we're not here to practice exercise. It's not a practice where no pain, no gain makes any sense. Rather, we're learning to become more intimately aware right now of the ground beneath us, all sensations in the body. So Ahimsa is a practice of self-care, self-compassion. And I'll remind us all of it all the way through the practice. It's quite distressing sometimes when I hear from people, not very often, that they attribute an injury to a yoga class. I feel either I haven't done my job properly or I haven't conveyed the principle of Ahimsa powerfully enough. So take a moment or two to maybe set yourself an intention for this practice today. Something you'll come back to. And gathering your hands together in front of the heart space, as if to gather your intention into the heart. And taking a full breath in here, breathing out, bowing your head, chin to your chest. And then when you're ready, lifting your head, opening your eyes, and releasing your hands. Beginning to move in the shoulders in any way that you feel you want to. So you might start by moving, rolling them both together, up and back, for example. At some point, you'll roll them around the other way. You might find you want to lift your arms to bring more movement into the length of the arms from the wrists to the shoulders. And some of you might like to try alternating. So one shoulder lifts and the other drops. Be intuitive. What feels delicious right now? And whatever you're doing, make sure to do it in both directions. Just waking up the ribs. And then resting your hands back down on your legs. And we'll do the same thing with the neck. So again, very intuitive. What does your neck feel it needs? Can you feel into sensation rather than mechanically circle the neck? And breathe. Do breathe Ujjayi, ocean breath, if that feels good to you this morning. And take your time, feel your way. You might find you want to open and close your mouth a few times to release tension from the jaw. And these movements also connect with the tissues down the neck anyway, to the top of the back. And then coming to settle. And taking your right fingers down beside you and your left fingers as well, actually. And as you breathe in, lifting up the left arm, allow the breath to move you, and breathe out, come over to the right. Look down at the right hand and inhale to come up. And exhale, come over to the left. And I'll leave you for a few moments to practice this gentle side bending with the breath. And if you find it feels good to stay on one side for a couple of breaths, do that. Or you might prefer to move continually from side to side. And really feel it. And then next time you come up from the left side, taking a moment to feel a neutral spine. Feel the body. And begin to take circles. We'll try and take these circles in such a way that, this is once you get going, that as you inhale, you're coming forwards and opening your chest. And as you exhale, you're drawing back and drawing the front body into the back body. So you inhale and you open. And you exhale, you draw in. And these could be tiny circles. Or you might find you want to move into bigger circles. And then we reverse the direction of the circles. And then again, come to a neutral spine. Feel the body. And please change the cross of your legs if that works for you, just to balance out the pelvis. Fingers out beside you. And on a breath in, lifting up the arms. And as you exhale, beginning to rotate to the right, left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you. And take a couple of breaths here. So a couple of things to think about. Find a lengthening of the spine on the inhale. And as you exhale, you receive the twist in the right side of the body and you firm up the left side of the body, but without strain. Back off from the 100% or the 120% effort that might go into this twist. Forget any sense of what would make a powerful twist and feel your way. You can back in and out of it. Take a full breath in and then breathe out, come back to the front. Inhaling, arms come up. And exhale, rotate to the left, right hand on the left knee, left hand behind you. And take a few breaths with that sense of a lengthening first, receiving the twist into the left body as your right body firms up. You can back in and out. Are you soft in your face? By the way, when I give these little instructions, it's because I notice myself trying too hard or tightening. It's just such a temptation. It's what we're so used to doing, is to push ourselves. Take a breath in and then exhale, come back to the front. And I'd like to take a twist again to each side. So breathing in, arms up. And breathing out, twist to the right. Take a breath in. Breathe out to the front. Breathing in, lift up. And breathe out, twist to the left. Take a breath in. And then come back to the front. Maybe close your eyes and just take a couple of breaths here to feel. Feeling that connection with the floor again. The buoyancy you receive from the floor upwards. And from here, we're going to meet in an all fours position. And I'd like you to really spread your fingers and find that connection through your hands. Feel the top of your feet, your shins. So we don't take anything for granted. Every time we come to the mat, we find this connection. It's so easy to forget and just whip ourselves through a sequence. A bit like going to a gym workout, say. And this is, for me, yoga is so much more interesting because we stop and we become aware and we feel. Take a breath in. And on the breath out, you're going to scoop up, take the back of your ribs towards the ceiling. Shin in towards your chest. When the next breath in comes, you're going to dip. Opening your chest, spreading your sitting bones. And continue like this. Exhale, scoop up. And inhale, drop. Can you differentiate between the vertebrae? So you really attend to this soothing flexion and extension of your spine. After your next exhale, come to neutral spine. And we'll continue doing that cat-cow movement, but now leaning forwards a bit as you inhale, rocking forwards a bit. You'll feel it on the wrists. And as you exhale and scoop, drawing back a bit, not all the way. You're not going to sit on your heels. And come into this rhythm. As you breathe in, you come forwards. And breathe out, draw back. It's almost a sense of dragging your hands on the mat without moving them when you breathe in, and pushing when you breathe out. Very lovely. And next time you breathe out and pull back, settle yourself back into a child. Or the equivalent if you are unable to kneel right now, or settle into child. Become very still for a few moments. Enjoy the breath. Wonderful. And then please meet me in an all fours position again. And take your hands maybe a little bit in front of you so they're not directly underneath your shoulders, but your hips are directly over your knees. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, drop your chest. Heart melting pose. On the inhale, lift back up. And exhale, lower your forearms to the mat and come to a forearm plank. Lift the knees. Take a breath in. And then exhale, drop your knees, drop your pelvis. And inhale, lift your heart, Sphinx. Exhaling, can you push into your elbows and your hands and come back to that heart melting pose? Inhaling, lift. Exhale, drop your forearms, lift your knees, you curl under your toes, forearm plank. Take an inhale. And then exhale, drop your knees, drop your pelvis. And inhale, lift your heart, Sphinx. And exhale again, come back to that heart melting pose. Really dropping between the shoulder blades. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forearm plank. Take a breath in. Exhale, drop your knees, come to Sphinx. Inhaling, brighten, lift your heart. Exhale, heart melting pose. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, forearm plank. Breathe in here. Exhale, drop your knees, come to Sphinx. Inhaling, lift and open your heart. And exhale, heart melting pose. Take a breath in here, and then slowly on the exhale, bring yourself back to child. Inhaling, roll yourself all the way up. Rolling your shoulders with you as you go. Exhale here. Roll your shoulders again, inhale. And exhale, take your hands behind you. On an inhale, can you lift your pelvis up and come out in front of you? Little back bend. Exhale, sit back down. Beautiful. And then come back to all fours and we'll do that whole sequence again. So we're really working into little back bends here as well as strengthening. Take a breath in, your hands are out in front of you. And exhale, heart melting pose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forearm plank. Take a breath in. Exhale, Sphinx. Take a breath in, lifting your heart. Exhale, heart melting pose. Take a breath in. And exhale, slide your way back to child. Breathing in, roll up and roll your shoulders with you. Exhale, feels so good. Breathing in again, roll your shoulders and exhale, take your fingers to the floor behind you. On a breath in, lift the front body away. Come into your little back bend here. Exhale, sit back down. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, all fours, sliding your hands forwards. Let's do it one more time. I hope you like it like I like it. Inhale. Exhale, heart melting pose. Inhale, lift. Forearms come down, you come to your forearm plank. Take a breath in. Exhale, Sphinx. Inhale, bright heart. Exhale, heart melting pose. Take a breath in. And come back, come back, come back, come back to your child. Inhale, rolling up, roll your shoulders. And exhale. Inhale, roll your shoulders. Fingers come to the floor behind you. Exhale. Inhale, lift the front of the body. And exhale. Sit back. And come to rest for a few breaths in child. Noticing what that sequence did for your spine. So if you're feeling any tenderness in the lower back, which I am, direct a few breaths there. Give yourself a breath massage into your lower back, or it may be more relevant for you between the shoulders. Just come back to yourself. And slowly joining me in a downward dog. And take a few breaths to breathe out your dog. Maybe bending your knees. Maybe lifting your heels and then dropping them again. And looking in between your hands and walking or stepping your feet forwards. And simply rolling all the way up. Bringing your hands to your heart. So now standing, can you commit to the earth through your feet? So we feel this relationship. I know I often say this in classes, but it's so good, and it's so good when we walk off our mats and walk into the day, just to feel this connection. If I could walk barefoot all the time, I definitely would. And I'd like to just experiment here with a little wave in the body. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. It's quite subtle. From the ground up, a little wave all the way up the legs to the pelvis, all the way up the spine, through to the top of the head. So come into your own very gentle ripple, it really is, up the body. Because as we come now into a standing flow, it'd be really lovely to keep this quality of a wave, a ripple, in all of our movements. So nothing stays too rigid or too stiff. And on your next breath in, lifting your arms up. And breathe out, swan dive down. You can bend the knees. Breathing in, ripple yourself into a half forward fold. So long spine, straight legs only if that's right for you. And exhale, fold completely. Inhaling, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Ripple, inhale, arms up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, fold. from the ground up. Inhale, come all the way up with that ripple. And exhale, hands to the heart. Let's do one more half sun salutation. Breathing in. Breathing out. Ripple the spine now. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Maybe close your eyes, feel the body. Feel the space around you. Breathing in, arms come up. And breathe out, fold. Breathing in halfway. And then step your right leg behind you. And I'd like you to just investigate here. Make sure that your heel is above your toes. You're not trying to take the heel towards the floor. Want to really give the foot a nice little stretch here, the toes. And ground down through that front foot. Really feel the stability here through the lower body. Drop the hips a moment. So the back leg is strong. And from here, inhaling, come all the way up into your Ashta Chandrasana. And exhale, sweep your arms behind you, your torso comes forwards. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, come forwards. Remember your Ahimsa. If you need to drop the back knee, do so. Inhale, you're up again. Exhale, come forwards. Inhale, coming up. And now exhaling, take your right hand to the floor, your left hand to your hip. And begin to rotate to the left now. Looking over your left shoulder and maybe lift your left arm up. Breathe. Lovely. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, looking down and come to a downward dog. Breathe into plank. And choose your way down to the mat. You might like to drop your knees, or you might like to come down straight as a stick. Really roll your shoulders to your ears to peel up the chest and ripple your way into your cobra, Bhujangasana. And from here, exhale, come down. Curl your toes under. Inhale to all fours, exhale, downward dog. Looking forward, stepping your right foot forwards. So now with the left foot, bring the heel right over the toes and engage the leg, drop into the hips. Find the ground through your right foot. Inhale, come up. Exhale, arms behind you, torso comes forwards. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come forwards. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come forwards. Inhale, come up. And exhale, take your left hand to the floor, your right hand to your hip. So in no hurry. Gradually peel that right shoulder away to come into your twist. Lifting the right arm up if it's right for you. And breathe. Find the buoyancy from the ground up. Take a breath in. Exhale, look down. And on an inhale, step gently forwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Take a breath here. Feel the body, quality of your breath. Inhaling, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step your left foot this time behind you. Heel over the ankle. Heel over the toes, so sorry. Once you've found your ground, once you've found that relationship, come all the way up again. Inhale. And exhale, arms behind you. Really reach forwards with your heart. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come forwards. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come forwards. Inhale, come up. And exhale, right hand to the hip, left hand down. And then take that twist to the right. Take a breath in. And then look down and take your right hand outside the right foot. You can bring the left heel down. And from here, inhale, twist yourself open, lifting the left arm. Feel the body here. Take a breath in. And then meet me in a downward dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, come down to the mat your way. And take your back bend. Inhale with that ripple. And exhale, come down. Inhale to all fours. Exhale, downward dog. Beautiful. Looking forward, step your left foot forwards. Right heel over the toes. From the ground, come up. Inhale. Exhale, arms behind you. Reach forwards with your heart. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come up. And exhale, right hand comes down. Bring yourself into that twist to the left. Breathe. Take a breath in. And then take the left hand outside the left foot. Right heel comes down. And open your twist to the right. Take a breath in here. Exhale, hand comes down. Lift the back heel and step lightly forwards. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. And from the ground up, inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Feel the body now. Notice the breath. And from here, if you'd like to release yourself forwards into a forward fold. So your knees could be slightly bent and your feet could be hip distance apart or a little wider if you prefer. If you have the flexibility, you could begin to straighten your legs. Maybe holding your hands behind your lower legs, maybe taking your hands underneath your feet. And come to some really lovely breaths here. Very, very soft in the roof of your mouth and the back of your throat. And from here, staying in a forward fold, but grabbing hold of your elbows, and just noticing the difference, if any, that you feel here in the whole body. You might find it's quite nice to sway a little bit from side to side, possibly finding a bit more release. Take a breath in. On the breath out, release your hands and bring them behind your back. So you interlace them behind your back. And now you can bend your knees and gently bring yourself all the way up. Inhaling. And exhale, slide your hands past your tailbone. And let's take that ripple we were taking just when we were standing before. And you might find that this ripple helps you eventually open more across the chest and the shoulders and bring your arms all behind you. So there's quite a squeezing of the tissues between the shoulder blades. And then taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, come all the way down. Bend your knees, bring your arms with you. And this is where I quite like to be intuitive again. So you could stay just like this, both arms symmetrical, both legs symmetrical. Or you might like to begin to sway your hands and arms to the right. I find when I do this, I want to bend in my right knee. See what that gives you. You can look up over your left shoulder. You can move the other way. So make it what you need right now. Breathe and feel any movements that feel good and not a strain. Wonderful. Coming back now to neutral, breathe in. And as you exhale, release your hands on your lower back and slide them all the way down the back of your legs. Take a breath in this forward fold. And then please come to bring your knees to the floor. And we are going to bring our forehead to the floor. And our hands coming in towards our knees. We're not going to come into headstand, don't worry. But you probably have an equilateral triangle. You have these points of the triangle of your hands and your head, so they're not in a straight line. And then from your forehead, and you might be pressing your nose a little bit, all you're going to do is rock over onto the top of your head. Gentle roll, feeling that opening in the back of the neck. And then rolling back again. Can you do this a few times, bearing in mind that the neck is a very vulnerable part of the body? Make it light. And then bringing yourself all the way to sit on your heels. And we're going to do the same principle of the movement with the head, but now bringing the arms into the equation. So taking your hands behind you if you can, interlacing them, drawing the shoulders up and back. Take a breath in and then reach forwards, come to your forehead. And as you roll to the top of your head, allow your arms to come with you. And we keep coming in and out of this. If this just doesn't work for you because of your knees or because of your head and neck, you could do this from the standing position like we did before. So same thing, but without the pressure on the head. So take 2 or 3 of these movements, very mindful, breathe the movement. Making this your last one. And then coming back, sitting on your heels. And releasing your hands. Interlacing them behind your head. And all I'd like you to do is to push the back of your head into your hands a little bit here. And take a few breaths. Feeling the back of the neck. Take a breath in and then release everything and take a moment to feel. And then we come back to downward dog. With that awareness, with that connection. So we're going to connect with the floor through the hands and through the left foot. Taking the right leg up behind you. Bending the knee and peeling the hip open so the right heel comes over towards the left buttock. And I want you to check if your left foot is straight and if you're equally strong in both arms, so you're not buckling into the left arm and shoulder. And maybe you can look under your right armpit as you feel that lovely opening of the right side of the body. The top of the left heel, of the left thigh goes up and back. Take a breath in and then look down and bring your right knee next to the left knee. And then begin to draw circles with that right knee in a clockwise direction. So we're circling into the hip. 3 times in one direction and then 3 times in the opposite direction. Stay with the breath and remember that non-violence, Ahimsa, self-care principle. Inhaling, lift that right leg now long behind you. Look forwards and exhale, step the right foot in between your hands. Bring the left heel down. Check the alignment as heel to instep. Find the earth and from here, spiral your way all the way up. Open your palms to the ceiling. You're facing the long end of your mat and then bend into that knee for Virabhadrasana 2. And what I'd really like in these classical standing poses now is for you to find that ripple from the pelvis up the spine. And when we have our palms up, it releases the shoulders. Then after a couple of breaths, you might like to take the palms down and take your gaze over the front fingers. And play around with that tilting in the pelvis, the ripple up the spine. And find that buoyancy from the ground up. Breathe. Turn your right palm up and then come into your reverse warrior. And again, taking those rippling movements, any movements to really feel the pose. And what might it be like to hang back a little? To not go your 100, your 120%. And then inhale, come forwards. And exhale, come into your side angle pose. You could have your elbow to the knee. You could have your hand to the floor on the inside or the outside of the foot. And feel it, move it, ripple it. How's the breath? Take a full breath in and then breathe out, find your downward dog. And make sure both hands are connected with the floor and your right foot is connected as you lift the left leg up behind you. Bending at the knee, peeling open the hip. And make sure the right foot is straight. Make sure you're not buckling into that right shoulder and arm. And peel open that left hip, look under the armpit. Breathe. Top of the right thigh, up and back. Take a full breath in. And as you breathe out, bring your left knee by the right knee. And take 3 circles in one direction. And 3 circles in the opposite direction. And then when you're ready, lifting up that left leg, inhale. And looking forwards and stepping it in between your hands. Right heel comes down. Heel to instep. And bring yourself up. Facing initially the long end of your mat palms up. And finding that ripple. Finding that connection. Before you turn your palms down, you look over your left fingertips and breathe. Are you soft in the roof of your mouth and the back of your throat? Turn the left palm over and bring yourself into your reverse warrior. And then come to your side angle pose. Elbow to knee or hand to the floor on either side of the foot. And feel it. Breathe. Taking a full breath in. And then exhale, look down and come back to your downward dog. And I'll leave you to take a few breaths in downward dog, and after that, or when you're ready, coming down to rest in child. Taking your knees wide apart, so it's a wide angle to give you space at the back of the pelvis. And come to settle. Softening everywhere that you are able to. And gently transitioning into a downward dog, but coming straight into a standing forward fold, your feet and your hands in towards each other. And rolling up slowly now, bone by bone, assembling your spine. Bringing your shoulders and then your head up last. I'm taking a moment to feel now the body. I hope you're feeling great. And taking a step so that you're facing the long end of your mat, we'll come into a nice, slow Utthita Trikonasana triangle pose. So you're going to take your right foot out. So your feet aren't as wide apart as in the warrior twos, etc. They're about 1 meter apart here. And engage the muscles to the legs. And then begin to lengthen out over the right leg. So creating as much length as possible. Long spine, long side body. And your right hand could come to a brick, it could come to the leg, anywhere up the leg. Please don't do this. Please don't lean forwards because you think you're supposed to touch the floor. We're looking for maximum deliciousness in the left side body. And your legs need to work here. Draw that left shoulder back to open the chest, to open the shoulder, and then lift up the arm. Lovely. And breathe now with all the principles that I've been talking about from the earth up. Find that buoyancy. Fly from the ground up, whilst all the while practicing self-care. Finding any micro movements that just make the pose a fuller, richer expression for you. And soften in the face. Take a full breath in. Look down. Bend into that knee, and from the earth up, come up, breathe in. Feet parallel. Then we take the left foot out. Find that engagement of the leg muscles around the bones. And begin to reach, reach, reach. Find that length to the left. Reach, and only take your hand down when you're ready. Peel that right shoulder back. Lift the arm if that's right for you. Work at the legs, and from that work, lift lightness up through the rest of the body. And breathe. Take a full breath in. Then look down, bend into that knee and inhale, come up. And exhale, step your feet together. Okay, so time for a little bit of fun, not too serious. Just come onto your left toes and make a trunk, make a root with the right leg and out through the sole of the foot. And we're going to come into Garudasana, eagle pose. And so for some of you, that'll mean taking the left leg over the right foot to the floor. That's fine to do that. Or some of you might be able to lift the left foot off the floor, maybe even tuck it behind the right lower leg. And you really squeeze the upper legs together. Squeeze the hips inwards. And wrap the right arm over the left for your eagle arm. And breathe. From our eagle, we're going to gently unwrap. Try not to take the left foot to the floor. And bring your right hand down to the floor beyond the right foot. And you can be all curled up to begin with, checking that your right foot is straight, and then open into your Ardha Chandrasana, your half moon. Really pushing through the left heel and turning the left toes to the left if you can. Only if it's right for you, lifting up the left arm. And breathe. Take a full breath in. And then take the left hand to the floor, drop the left hip, and lift the left leg high as you can. Standing splits. Inhale. And then bend in the right knee and wrap the left leg behind the right. You're going to curl all the way down into a seated twist. Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes pose. Take your left elbow around the knee. Really gather your knee in towards you. Drop through that right hip and lift the right arm, inhale. And then take a little twist to the right. Keep dropping into that right hip. So you lift the spine. And you soften into your Ardha Matsyendrasana. Take a full breath in. Release forwards on the breath out and see if you can come back into that standing split. Left leg up behind you. Right leg giving you that lift from the earth. And then drop the left foot by the right foot and roll up. Hope everyone's feeling okay. Let's take that to the other side and then we unwind, if you're wondering. So the left leg is now your trunk and your roots through the foot as you just come up onto the right toes. And wrap the right leg over the left. Toes to the floor or in the air or wrapped behind the calf. And this time we bring our left arm over the right. And breathe. Beginning to unfurl, taking your left hand to the floor. Gradually straightening that right leg out through the heel, turning the toes to the right. Lifting your arm if you're ready. And breathe the openness. We need to ground in order to fly. Take a breath in. And then drop the right hand, drop the right hip. Lift the right leg up. Bend a little in the left knee as you wrap your right leg behind the left. And you drop into your seat, twist. Well done. Right elbow wraps around the left knee to draw the knee in towards you. And you need to really drop now down through that left hip. Lifting up the left arm. And find that twist on the exhale to the left. Breathe. And soften well within your 120% effort. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, look forwards. And rock yourself forwards to bring yourself back into that standing split. Right leg is lifted. Inhale. And then lightly drop the right foot by the left. And roll yourself up. Take a moment just to feel the body. You could have your eyes open or closed. Notice the breath. And we're going to come and lie flat on our backs. Isn't that great? Just for a mini Shavasana before we take a few nice unwindy poses. Let the whole body unravel here, whole body extend. Feel the floor. I wonder if you can hear the crazy wind and the rain through my mic. I'm being buffeted up here in the attic. It's like I'm in a ship. And then if you slowly like to bring your knees into your hands with your knees wide apart. And just relax into the ankles, the toes. So everything we've done, at least in the standing sequence, if we're not very careful, can create a sense of a torquing or a little twisting strain in the lower back and pelvis. So I hope it hasn't, but it's important now to have a little bit of a soothing time here. I can definitely feel the back of my pelvis, my sacroiliac joints. So it's very nice to very gently roll now, rock from side to side. A little bit of a pull on each knee. And we release any accumulated tension in the inside of the thighs and the groin as well, with our knees apart like this. There's no hurry, there's nowhere to go. And then you can allow the left leg to lengthen along the mat as you draw your right knee in towards you. And be free here. You can circle a little into the right hip with the knee. You could push through the left heel a bit, but don't make it really tight or anything. We're winding down. We're not preparing for a practice. We're preparing to let everything go. And if you are circling your knee in one direction, make sure to circle it in the opposite direction. And then holding your knee right in towards you, stand your left foot back on the floor. And we'll come into a half happy baby pose. So you're going to take the sole of your right foot to face the ceiling. If you can, you hold onto the foot with your hand. So I'm holding onto the inside of the foot today, but you can try either. And you draw the knee down towards the armpit. Now you have different options on the left side of the body. You could allow the knee just to drop out to the left to balance out the pelvis. You could slide the leg long. I like to have the leg long, coming out to the left and lifted off the floor a little. See how that works for you. And breathe. Just softness now. Taking a full breath in. And then releasing the foot and holding the knee again. So you release the left leg down. Take a breath in. And then slide the right leg long. Take a moment to feel the body. Then bring the left knee in towards you with your hands. Have a little feel into the hip, a little circling. Maybe push through the right heel a bit. And circle in the opposite direction. And then stand your right foot on the floor to come into half happy baby on the left. Holding the inside of the outside of the foot and drawing the knee towards the armpit. Either allowing your right knee just to flop out or the leg to lengthen. Maybe lift off the floor, maybe at an angle. We're wanting symmetry in the pelvis. You want the back of the pelvis to be nicely flat on the floor rather than rocking over to one side. Take a full breath in and then release. Bring the left knee in towards the chest and slide the left leg long. Feel the body. We're going to take one Sedubandha Shavasana, one simple bridge. Bearing in mind we've opened the whole body, we've already done a lot of back bending. So this is just an opportunity to explore a final opening in the body before we come down to rest finally. So it's not your biggest back bend possible. Feel it in the skin. So let's place both feet on the floor. And take a breath in. And on your breath out, push into your feet and lift your hips, peel the spine off the mat. And choose what you do with your arms. You might have your thumb and forefinger around your waist. You might hold your ankles. You might interlace your hands again underneath you. And allow your chin to fall back so you have a nice space in the throat. And breathe open the body without force. Where is there space to breathe? Or where could you breathe more space into the body? Take a full breath in. And then release the shoulders first. Allow them to spread, the shoulder blades on the mat. Before you come down like a hammock, bone by bone. And your sacrum will find the mat. Then bring your knees in towards you. Apanasana. And as you bring your knees in towards you, find what works best for you. Do you want your knees together, your thighs together, your ankles together? Does that feel good? Or do you maybe need to separate your knees a little? I like to take my ankles over each other, so my right ankle over the left just allows a bit more ease in the hips. See what's and the groin, see what works, and have a little time here. Moving if you want to. And if there's anything you feel that you need in your practice before you come to a nice long Shavasana this morning, please go ahead. Otherwise, making sure you're warm enough. And coming to extend the whole body, maybe knees over a bolster. That'd be really nice to very slowly roll the head from side to side. Feel the weight of your head. As you come to settle. If you did choose an intention for your practice, just inviting it back into the space of your heart. So it can sift into your subconscious or into the physical body as you rest fully. Finding complete nourishment from the practice in this rest. It's so important to rest at the end of a yoga practice. We absorb. Notice your breath, light and simple. Feeling the whole of the back of the body in contact with the floor. The back of your head, all the way down to your heels. The back of your hands. Bring your attention to the front of your body from the forehead all the way down to your toes, to your fingertips. And the whole of the left side of the body. And the whole of the right side of the body. Noticing all sensation. And the crown of your head. And the soles of your feet. And coming to feel the whole body now, the back, the front, the left, the right, crown of your head and the soles of your feet all together now, the whole body lying here and breathing. And please stay for as long as you like. I'm going to end the meeting now, end the class now. So please choose your way to transition, to stay longer, to take stock of your class. Thank you.